Welcome back to our YouTube channel. My name is Crystal.
My name is Oscar.
And today's video is going to be quite special, guys, because we're going to be speaking about what happened when you meet God.
Yes, big question. The question that probably every single human being that's able to think words in their head probably asks themselves where I came from, or not. Maybe you just lived your life without asking the question of who created you and why you're here on earth and what's your purpose, but that is also valid. So welcome to our channel, and let's all, as human beings wishing to understand more of ourselves,
Yeah.
through this video.
Let's do this.
So let's hit it.
From this angle now, this is spontaneous and in the present moment of the now.
All right, and we're back. What happens when you meet God? Again, a question that's quite intense and that has a lot of question marks. So let's break it down in the most practical way. From the what is this God force, God potential, God essence? The why is this important? Why is it important to meet your maker, to know why we were created as human beings, our existence? And how can we start to meet our maker, meet the creator more and more in our everyday lives, and have one of those ecstatic moments of enlightenment that many people seek their whole lives to attain. This state of enlightenment, of understanding who you are in relation to all that is. So let's break it down. Let's start off with just expressing to them, just what is God through our own experience, through our own realm of being. Okay, what does this God mean? So God is essentially understood by humanity to be what is infinite. Okay, creation in general, every single thing that exists is then a reflection of what created existence, God. So essentially, we have our token to understand that we are one with God, essentially because we came from that creator. We were created by it. So we are automatically one with it. And then we have science that tells us energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed, then giving us the direction and the signpost that we are in fact eternal, because we are energetic beings.
And the best way that I find to describe that it really caught my attention is that energy cannot be destroyed, only transformed. Is that you grab anything in nature, and the most common example, you grab water, you boil it, what it becomes? Steam. Or you put it in the freezer and it becomes ice. So nothing just die, it just changed its form.
And so that form, that changing of form, then shows us what happens to ourselves as we take the word and idea of evolution. When we talk about these things, evolution, that shows us a sort of incremental change, a change from one state of form, one state of energy, into another state of energy. And I also want to put in reference here in regards to this video, becoming a regular human being, starting off as a regular human being in this life, and then taking all the steps necessary to understand reality, to apply what you've learned about reality, and then you becoming a next level human.
I just like so much this subject because I'm learning so much at the same time that
and hopefully by the end of this video, she hasn't had per se that experience that many people that are practicing spiritual practice try to attain, which is that state of meeting God, entering that realm of God consciousness.
The complete surrender in yourself.
Yeah, so she herself in her journey of seeking the creator has not yet had one of those, oh my God, source experiences with the creator. And that's completely okay, because we're just here to share with you our experience.
And the reason why, that was one of the reasons why it gave us so much time to do this video, because I didn't have that, since I didn't have that experience per se. I was like, oh my God, how I'm going to make this video, how I'm going to,
so she didn't want to,
I was stuck.
So you didn't think you were worthy enough to make this video because you didn't experience of God. Check that out. So just check that out, how the mind works, guys. Imagine you are one with God, one with source, one with the fabric of reality.
Even though you haven't had any experience, do you believe that?
You really believe it? Yes. Just because you haven't had an experience of God, or you may have sinned in your life, does not mean you're not worthy of God, because you were made out of the same stuff as everyone else. And the power lies in your own forgiveness and what you're truly choosing to believe. Are you choosing to believe in a God, reality, a source, a creator that would deem you unworthy by doing something called a sin? Or would you believe yourself worthy no matter what, because you are in fact living and alive? No one can take that away from you. No one can take away the truth. And the truth is that you are, you always have been
An eternal
an
being.
eternal, energetic expression of the Creator. So let's talk about form again. So we've talked about what is God for us, right?
Yes.
A little bit. So now let's go into
The how.
why.
No.
The
What?
why.
Yes. What? Why? Yes. Why?
What, why, and how. So now that we're going to go into the why. Why is it important to meet your Maker? Why is it important to meet Source, the higher power, the higher octave of reality? Well, essentially, this gives us purpose. This gives us purpose as human beings. Why we're walking this life. Are we walking here to repeat the same cycles?
Why we are alive.
Why are we alive? Or are we just supposed to create material things up until our chaos and destruction, and then the world withers away? I think we can both use our mind here and say, I think not.
And fulfillment too. That's another part of the why.
Yep.
It's life purpose and the fulfillment that brings.
And what's the most fulfilled? Right? What is the most fulfilled? Source. God. Your best self. Your higher self. Okay, when we think of this God, why is it important? Well, every time when we mention, or wherever you go and look about God, you'll find that it resembles heaven. It resembles bliss, clarity, serenity, authenticity, omnipresence. There for you at all times, everywhere. So when we think of why is it important, well, look at all that God represents. God represents wonder, magic.
Magic, beauty, miracles.
It gives us a purpose where we get to look at ourselves as a part of creation and say, wow, just the fact that I'm alive is beautiful.
And that's enough.
And that's enough. And not only that, the fact that I get to in each moment be reborn, each day be reborn, to then learn more about my existence, learn more about myself, to know why I'm here and what I can then bring forth to all other selves,
Yes.
all other portions of reality. When we start to see things from these eyes, from actually the all-seeing eye, seeing everything as it is, the fact that you're alive and you have the opportunity to go search yourself, to know more of yourself. And we're here to tell you through our own experience that there is a guide, there is a way.
Yep.
There is a way to know yourself. There is a way to understand reality, so that a lot of the question marks are eliminated.
Explain it through whatever lens you want to see. Science, spirituality,
religion,
philosophy.
philosophy.
It's the same thing. It could be explained throughout all of it, or if you want to choose just one specifically and go through that by it too. But it could be explained.
And the main idea is, what's the matter with you? As soon as we ask you, what's the matter with you?
The whole world changed.
The whole world changes, because once we ask you what's the matter with you, you can then start to see and recognize what is truly the matter, not only with yourself, but the world.
And it's funny,
The fact is that what is the matter is that the whole reality of the human existence and the human species have lost connection with that higher power. Everyone walks their lives unconscious of what they truly want to be in their lives, their best version, and that they're actually completely taken care of and all is well. That they can actually have the potential to create their dream life. Most people walk their lives not knowing these things, not knowing that they have the potential to become everything they wish. What were you gonna say?
I just let it go in that moment, so it will come if it's relevant to say or to mention.
so this is the why. Why is it important? Well, why are you important?
Yes.
You are important, aren't you? If you're watching this video, you're tuning in because
You see, it already come. It just came to me. It was regarding the question that you just said when we asked what happened with me. What happened with me? That it's like that moment that you realize, wow, I know that the problems you're realizing without saying it in that specific context, like it's not them, it's me, where you're like, what is happening with myself? Now you start asking, you start inquiring, and that's the beauty.
Yeah, and when you start inquiring within, when you start taking responsibility of your life, of creation, of what you're creating, you then take responsibility of the creator. Because now you're walking your life remembering that, oh wow, I was created by a creator and I'm here living this life for some reason. So let me actually be my best version. Let me actually choose it. So when we choose ourselves, our purest, most authentic, best selves possible, we are automatically aligning and meeting God, source, reality. Just by you being your best you, because you're essentially being the best creation that could have ever been created. You're taking responsibility for that, and that's amazing. And even if you're not taking responsibility, the fact that you're living this life, you're living within creation, already grants you the meeting of your maker, because wherever you look is the creator. Wherever you look is energy that's eternal. It cannot be destroyed. It can only be transformed
and
into
it's
more
expressed,
of itself.
yes, and it's expressed in different forms.
That's why so many people have different levels of consciousness.
That's what it says. You are made at the light and essence of
The creator.
Of the creator. It doesn't mean that you are look alike the same, but it is the same stuff. It is the essence.
Yeah, our essence is all the same. Just like when we talk about spirituality, right? We're talking about that portion of essence. The fact that we all have a soul, and that soul, as we know, is one with God. Our soul is one with God, one with reality, one with source, one with creation. But when we take the scientific approach, we see that everything can be energy. And that energy and us being energy is all inclusive. In fact, everything that we see is perceivable energy at different rates of vibration and frequency. So everything is vibrating. I mean, everything is at a different state.
At a different state.
Someone can be at a different state of godliness, of divinity, of purity, than another person that perhaps
different level of consciousness.
Yeah, a different level of consciousness. Another person could be more angry and representing more of the lower consciousness, which is just the lower spectrum of yourself. Fear or love. So now let's move into the last portion of the why, which is that when you start to choose yourself, when you choose to meet your best self in reality and creation in this lifetime, you then are choosing love, which is then that energy which is all over the universe, multiverse, which is the stuff that is everywhere. Creation itself is love. So when you start to choose love, you then choose God, you then choose source, you then choose your best selves, and you then choose to create heaven on earth. The power has always been in your hands.
It's within you.
You have always been divine. You have only chosen otherwise.
Unlock the key.
Unlock your soul. Unleash your soul. Unleash your divinity.
Here on earth.
Yeah, your pure self here on earth. No matter the cost, no matter that you might see in your external reality and life and world and society a lot of representations of a low consciousness. They've forgotten their divinity, and that is okay, because we're here to remember our true selves, our divine selves.
Our divine self. Yes.
That no matter what is light or dark, evil or good, it is all part of creation, and therefore it is all granted forgiveness.
Yep.
It is all granted the fact that it's just is. It's just there. It's creation expressing itself.
In a different way.
In a different way. So now, let's talk a little bit about, now we understand that love is that God force, that God essence, that energy, source, reality. God is everywhere, everything. God is creation. And that we have access to align ourselves with such a reality, with such a self, such a God self, becoming gods and goddesses in this reality, because we're able to represent such. This doesn't not mean that we strive to be gods or we strive for that perfection that's ego-oriented or ego-based. No. That's us realizing that we're worthy through perceiving reality and creation with love, that in fact all shall be love. All shall be light, because light is beautiful and I choose to shine. And whatever that is dark can then be transformed into light. And we may all live in a paradise of light, of love. And so you see, it becomes very simple, very practical for each and every one of us who start off as regular human beings. Yeah, we're just here living our lives, seeking ourselves. The more we seek to understand ourselves, the more we unlock the beauty that is the love of the universe, of reality, of source. We uncover more of the details, but we are now not coming from the place of not remembering that primordial essence, the fact that all is one. And this is essentially what happens when we meet God. Now let's go into the how. How do we have this God experience? Because we just spoke about that every single one of you are already meeting God. Yes, just by being you, just by living in this lifetime, you are meeting God everywhere.
So how?
So now maybe if you watch this video, you want to know how you meet that God realm, or that God
godliness
force, that
within
God
you.
Within you. How can you, within you, cultivate yourself or reach that moment in time, that moment in space, where you finally tap in, tune in to that experience of God? That's a whole different story.
It is simple, but it requires commitment.
And this is where we go into the whole spirituality talk. You have to be dedicated,
Devoted.
You have to be disciplined. Well, that happens for a reason. The only reason that a lot of religions and traditions have expressed such a message of discipline, of courtesy, of earnestness, of sacrifice when it comes to the spiritual path is only because that's just a natural phenomenon. That's the natural portion of ourselves which we begin to cultivate when we take responsibility of our godliness. That's it.
And when you start realizing that everything that is happening in your surrounding is your responsibility.
Yep.
And there's no one else's responsibility.
Yep. There's no one else's responsibility. And you can choose the best version of your reality possible and express that accordingly. So how can we align ourselves to have this God experience? To at least function and be always, for the most part, to the best of our degree, tuned into God, tuned into the higher potential reality, tuned into higher consciousness.
Self-empowerment. That is one of the most beautiful that I can, a tactic that I have been using, and I have been, the reason why I'm sharing is because it has been working for me, and I know that for you as well it has worked. And it's empower yourself. How do you speak to yourself? How do you communicate with yourself?
And again, God being, so the God force that a lot of us like to talk about, that dimension of God, that higher power, the man in the clouds, the man in the sky. Again, this is another form, another version, another octave expression of God. Just like you are a little expression of God. You're a little expression of the creator of creation, here learning what it's like to be human, expanding upon your knowledge of what it is to be infinite and unified with everything. That's our mini perspective and expression of that God force. Now what about that bigger God force? The one that watches omnipresently everything that's happening, fully vivid and lucid. Well, again, that will be known to be that experience that many people have of that white light. Okay? This white light that many people talk about when they experience God or when they had a God experience. This is essentially, yes, you are meeting yourself. Some people this happens to when you meet God when they're about to die. They have a near-death experience and they go into this realm of God. Oh my God, I met God. It was like this dimension of energy and it was white light. All I saw was white light. And I saw a white room. A white hand reached out to me and spoke to me. This is a realm of consciousness. This is a realm of God force. This is not the ultimate. Okay, there is much more of you because did you forget that you are infinite? That creation is infinite. So there is more levels to this God force, this God reality that we are talking about. Oh yeah, there's much more to God than meets the eye. Because God is beyond sight.
I like that, meets the eye. Really casual.
Really casual, right?
Really fresh. It meets the eye.
Right?
It's like, whoa.
So we're here in this reality, seeking this next level. How do we operate from this next level of consciousness to be tuned in, tapped in to divinity, to source, to the universe? and to create from this place, because then creating the best life possible becomes, yeah, I'm worthy of it, and there's a way. And this is what we're here to express to you, that you don't have to go ahead and search for that next level of God and seek that experience of having that experience with reality, with the source. Just by being you and cultivating yourself accordingly, choosing your best version, you will then learn what it takes to have that experience. But it comes naturally. All of these people have been training their whole lives for that one experience. It's not about the experience. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. So, we tell you now, on your journey, just naturally choose your highest self, your best version, because just by doing that, you are representing the divine force and power.
That it has to ever be.
And as you allow yourself to unfold in such a divine manner, you then allow yourself to arrive at that moment, at that experience of God spontaneously. That is if you are seeking that experience. It's just aligning yourself with that moment. Because people who have experienced God, it was in a moment. From one moment to the next, they were experiencing that God level dimension of consciousness, that octave expression of the Creator. And they were like, whoa, I met God. So all it takes is for you to align yourself in this moment, or in this moment, or in this moment.
Or in the next one.
And then you will then be attuning yourself and aligning yourself with that moment of God. But we're here to tell you that's not what it's about. There's much more than just that dimension of white light, of white force, divine force, and unity and bliss and love. It's amazing, yes, but there's much more to you. So keep on along your path. You are all already meeting God. Science has proven it. The infinite energy which can only be transformed, which is eternal. And that there are many different expressions of this God force. God is one with all. Source is one with all. Universe is one with all. And we are remembering and becoming more and more of ourselves.
Much love.
Much light.
Let's evolve.
Let's evolve.